Human history is a fascinating subject full of secrets, waiting to be revealed. Historians, archaeologists, and scholars have spent their lives uncovering millennia of shocking discoveries, yet still an unfathomable majority remains. Did the Romans have access to nanotechnology? Did the Egyptians use light bulbs? If that doesn't take your breath away, the ancient skeleton of an alien will. In recent years, scholars have discovered numerous ancient relics that defy logic and reason. Join us for 20 such amazing ancient relics that are so advanced that they should not exist. Number 20. The Atacama Skeleton. Surely the discovery of an alien skeleton should be proof enough of their existence. The Atacama Skeleton, an unusual mummy unearthed in 2003, captured the interest of scientists and UFO enthusiasts. Because of its unusual traits and small size, only 6 inches tall, it caused great curiosity about extraterrestrial life. Does this indicate that aliens exist? Let us explore the truth. In-depth DNA research of the Atacama skeleton found a very stunning revelation. Despite its strange look, the skeleton is human, not an alien hybrid, as some thought. The scientific community was astonished to realize that this diminutive creature was, in fact, a human girl who lived during the 19th century Chilean nitrate mining boom. With its conical skull and well-developed hard bones, the data skeleton cannot be a fetus. DNA analysis and scientific research revealed that she was between the ages of 6 and 8 at the time of her death. But why did the Atacama skeleton have such remarkable features? Experts believe that its diminutive stature and unusual characteristics are the consequence of a combination of genetic mutations and a form of dwarfism. Number 19. The Lycurgis Cup. You'd be surprised to learn that the Romans were hidden pioneers in nanotechnology long before the name was coined. This incredible ancient secret is concealed within this 1,600-year-old glass. The Lycurgis Cup is a stunning chalice named after the legendary king Lycurgus of Thrace that appears to change colors like magic. This is no ordinary drinking utensil. The goblet's fascinating color-changing capacity, according to the study, can be due to the creative usage of gold and silver nanoparticles incorporated in the glass. When light strikes the goblet's surface, these minuscule nanoparticles do their magic, transforming the cup from jade green to a stunning ruby red. Not only that, but the cup also conveys an amazing mythological story. The story of Lycurgus, the Thracian ruler who ventured to defy Dionysus, the god of wine, is depicted in exquisite carvings. As the story progresses, the cup reflects the legendary struggle's successes and sufferings. However, it was with electron microscopy that we could comprehend the amazing craftsmanship that went into producing the Lycurgis Cup. It's incredible how advanced the ancient Romans were. Number 18. The Antikythera Mechanism. The Antikythera Mechanism is regarded as the world's first computer. It was accidentally discovered in 1901 during a shipwreck excavation off the coast of Greece. 3 flat, deformed pieces of brass were discovered near the Greek island of Antikythera. Researchers were amazed by what they discovered: an antique apparatus of gears and cogs dating back over 2,000 years. The Antikythera mechanism turned out to be a sophisticated astronomical tool, essentially a mechanical computer designed to predict celestial events with astounding accuracy. It was created by skillful hands in ancient Greece during the 2nd century. A user's guide was also hidden in the eroding bronze. Imagine it as a fantastic puzzle, the size of a shoebox, concealing cosmic secrets. It was capable of tracking planetary movements, predicting lunar and solar eclipses, and even showing the positions of stars and planets in the sky. For decades, academics were confused by the Antikythera mechanism's complexity. It had approximately 30 delicate gears that were precisely built to work in combination, creating a marvel of ancient engineering and craftsmanship. But how did they achieve such remarkable knowledge and technology during that time? This question remains unanswered to date. Number 17. The Nazca Lines. Peru's mysterious Nazca Lines are an incredible display of ancient geoglyphs that have confused researchers for decades. Archaeologists believe the Nazca civilization constructed these amazing geoglyphs. But the important question is, why? What function did they serve? Were they divine messages, star maps, or simply an ancient art form? The Nazca civilization, which dates back to 500 BC, created over 800 straight lines, 300 geometric shapes, and more than 70 remarkable animal and plant patterns. We're not talking about little sketches here. Some of these calculations are miles long and need jaw-dropping precision. The legendary Nazca hummingbird, a breathtaking geoglyph with a wingspan of 98 feet, is one of the best to witness. No one really knows how these lines came into existence and what purpose they serve. Some hypotheses propose that these lines served as landing strips for ancient astronauts, generating disputes regarding ancient extraterrestrial contact. Could the Nazca people have had assistance from extraterrestrial creatures in creating such accurate and huge artwork that can only be appreciated from above? We'll never know for sure. Number 16, mummy with a golden tongue. Numerous mummies have been discovered in Egypt till date, each unique in its own way. But this one stood apart from the rest because it had a strange feature: a golden tongue. This astonishing discovery was unearthed by a joint Egyptian-Dominican expedition during excavations at the Temple of Taposiris Magna in western Alexandria, Egypt. The mummy was unearthed in Akhmi, where ancient Egyptians previously buried their loved ones. This 2,000-year-old mummy having a gold tongue was discovered while assessing 16 badly preserved tombs contained in rock-cut crypts, a traditional burial practice during Egypt's Greco-Roman period. But what distinguishes this mummy? Researchers believe the mummy was methodically prepared for the afterlife, with much care made to ensure the deceased had a peaceful voyage. The golden tongue-shaped amulet, made of gold foil and placed within the mummy's mouth, is thought to have a symbolic significance, providing the deceased with the power to talk and connect with the gods in the afterlife, specifically Osiris, the god of the underworld. It's fascinating to think about the beliefs and rituals of the ancient Egyptians, who had unique ways of preparing the dead for the afterlife. Number 15. Leonardo da Vinci's programmable robots. Leonardo da Vinci is well known for his creative accomplishments, but did you know he was also a brilliant inventor who was much ahead of his time? Yes, Leonardo da Vinci's genius went beyond painting and sculpture. He created and built 3 magnificent automatons that exhibited his amazing mechanical engineering skills in the late 15th and early 16th century. These complex automations were discovered in Codex Atlanticus. The first robot, known as the Knight, was created to mimic human actions. It had a complicated system of gears, wheels, and pulleys that allowed it to sit up, wave its arms, and even move its head. The Lion, the second robot, was a miracle in its own right. It might walk forward, open its chest, and expose a cluster of lilies, which would represent Florence's emblem. Finally, the third robot, a self-propelled cart, was a true work of art. The cart was powered by mainsprings and included a crossbow system and lower wheels for autonomous mobility. But it was the programmability of Da Vinci's automatons that truly distinguished them. He devised elaborate systems of ropes and pulleys that could be pre-programmed to dictate the actions of the robots, resulting in the first examples of programmable machines. Unfortunately, these robots stayed hidden in his notes for generations. It took decades for historians to discover Da Vinci's astonishing discoveries and bring his blueprints to life. Number 14, the Piri Reis map. Researchers at Turkey's Topkapi Palace Museum discovered a section of a Turkish world map from the early 16th century in 1929. Piri Reis, an Ottoman Turkish cartographer, created this magnificent geographical miracle in 1513. This map is unlike any other of its kind at the time. It is now known as the astonishing Map of America, which was drawn only 21 years after Christopher Columbus's arrival in the New World. Piri drew this map using 20 other regional maps rather than his own personal trip and sailing. It provides incredibly accurate geographical features, spanning a huge area from Europe to Africa and beyond, including the Americas coastlines. On this map, you can see the coastlines of Brazil, Spain, and Antarctica. Surprisingly, Antarctica was discovered over 3 centuries later. How did it show coasts that were apparently unexplored at the time? The mystery surrounding the Piri Reis map continues to raise many questions among historians and explorers, but what actually distinguishes this chart is that it precedes documented European colonization of the Americas by several decades. Piri race could not have possessed such knowledge without the use of contemporary exploring gear. According to certain scholars, the Piri race map provides proof of ancient advanced civilizations or extraterrestrial intervention. Others believe it is the result of ancient seafaring expertise that has been passed down through centuries. Number 13. The ancient Egyptian light bulb. Can you believe that the ancient Egyptians were so advanced that they had light bulbs? A magnificent picture of this modern technology can be found on the wall of Egypt's famous Dendera temple complex. An electrical expert from Norway was the first to suggest that this image depicts an early electric light bulb. This sparked concerns about the ancient Egyptians' use of electric lighting. 3 stone reliefs in the temple depict the Dendera light. It has a bulb-like thing within it, with a snake-like filament. It has a lotus socket at one end, a cable running below, and a snake-shaped cord filament at the other. What's more, the snake's tail is hidden inside a lotus blossom, which some believe represents electric conductivity. Egyptologists also believe that the relief portrays a legendary scenario, with the snake representing the goddess Wadjet and the lotus flower representing rebirth. The Dendera light's remarkable similarity to a light bulb, on the other hand, continues to stir discussion. Critics argue that viewing the Dendera light as an electric bulb is a modern interpretation. However, it should be understood in light of its mythological and cultural background. There are many claims suggesting that the ancient Egyptians did not have access to electric lighting, but who knows how advanced the ancient Egyptians actually were. Number 12. Khufus solar ship. Engineer Kamal El-Malik made an astounding archaeological discovery in Egypt in 1954. For nearly 4,500 years, an intriguing mystery lay buried near the Great Pyramid Cheops, Khufus solar ship. Haj Ahmed Youssef, a talented Egyptian restorer, expertly restored the cedarwood boat. It has a length of 43 meters, a width of 5.9 meters, and a depth of 1.78 meters. Its characteristic papyrus-shaped bow measures 6 meters tall, while the stern stands 7 meters tall. Their lengths range from 6.5 to 8.5 meters and are made out of 10 oars, 5 on each side. The boat has a main cabin, with the captain's stateroom in the front. 2 large oars serve as the rudder. The boat's total weight is around 45 tons. And here's the most amazing part. It was made without the use of a single metal nail. So, how did the ancient Egyptians develop such engineering skills? They depended on an amazing technique using ropes. This exquisite vessel belongs to Pharaoh Khufu, who governed Egypt during the 4th dynasty. The significance of the ship rests in its function. It was designed to transport the pharaoh on his celestial trip to the afterlife, mirroring the sun god Ra's daily journey across the sky. This ship is an engineering wonder beautifully preserved through millennia. Number 11. The Voynich Manuscript. The Voynich Manuscript, named after a Polish rare book dealer named Wilfrid Voynich, who bought it in the year 1912, is the world's most mysterious text. Its 250 pages are filled with an unknown script that has confused experts for decades, as well as hypnotic images of vegetation, celestial bodies, and mysterious human forms. Oh, the curiosity it has aroused. Scholars have worked endlessly to determine its meaning and origin, but it remains an unsolvable puzzle, like an old riddle waiting to be cracked. Recent discoveries indicate that this remarkable text was written in the early 15th century, possibly by a bright polymath with interests in medicine, astronomy, and botany. The coded language appears to include invaluable insights regarding herbal treatments, cosmic observations, and other knowledge of its time. But why was it written in such an incomprehensible code? Some assume that it was intended to keep critical information hidden from prying eyes, while others speculate that it was a brilliant hoax. A 17th-century letter written by the royal doctor Johannes Marcus Marci links the manuscript's ownership back to the Holy Roman Emperor Rudolph II. Between the year 1576 and 1612, he paid 600 ducats to an anonymous seller. However, its roots prior to that remain a mystery, leaving around 150 years of its existence unaccounted for. The Voynich manuscript now sits in Yale University's famed Beinecke Library, where scholars from all over the world are fascinated by its secrets. Number 10. Prehistoric skulls with bullet-like holes. An ancient skull estimated to be between 125,000 and 300,000 years old was discovered over a century ago in the limestone caves of Kabwe, Zambia, by a Swiss miner. Since then, experts have been drawn by the skull, which was the first in Africa to exhibit Homo sapiens traits. The Kabwe skull held an even more confusing secret. A small circular hole was discovered on its left side. Forensic specialists said it could only have been caused by an extremely high-velocity object, such as a bullet. The Kabwe skull, initially classed as Homo rhodesiensis and then as Homo heidelbergensis, shows traits similar to Homo erectus, Homo neanderthalensis, and contemporary Homo sapiens. This unusual combination of characteristics indicates interbreeding between distinct hominid species, confusing the skull's origins even further. Though some hypothesized that the hole was produced by a spear or javelin, further examination revealed the absence of radial fractures, which are generally associated with low-velocity projectiles. Instead, forensic specialists, including one from Germany, said that the cranial damage was compatible with that inflicted by a high-powered rifle bullet. This discovery raised questions about the skull's age and the possible involvement of technologically advanced civilizations in ancient periods. There have been numerous possibilities proposed, ranging from absurd beliefs of trans-temporal hunting expeditions to more probable theories involving meteorite shrapnel. However, the absence of clear proof has left us scratching our heads. Number 9. The London Hammer. During a hike near London, Texas in 1936, a couple called Max Hahn and Emma came across an unusual rock. They uncovered what appeared to be an old hammer composed of iron and wood inside the rock. They had no idea they had discovered a genuine out-of-place artifact. A team of archaeologists discovered that the rock encasing the hammer was 400 million years old after further research. Even more amazing, the hammer itself was estimated to be around 500 million years old. To add to the fascination, a portion of the handle had begun to deteriorate into coal. The London hammer's unique composition surprised scientists. Its head is composed of iron, but the handle is made of wood, and it is still intact after millions of years. How is this even possible? Its iron head had 96 points, 6% pure iron, which is nearly hard to create naturally without modern technology. Carl Baugh, a creationist, bought the hammer, calling it a monumental pre-flood discovery, and used it to hypothesize on the possibility of giants in the past. However, there are more rational explanations for this artifact. Certain researchers said the hammer's design was compatible with conventional American tools. It could very well be a more recent miner's hammer. The London hammer is now on display at Carl Baugh's Creation Evidence Museum. They also sell replicas of the London hammer. So, would you want one too? Number 8. The Drapa Stones. The Drapa Stones were discovered in the year 1930 by Chinese archaeologist Chipu Tei in the Bayan Kara Ula Mountains near China's border with Tibet. These stones may date back more than 10,000 years, according to the ancient beginnings of the Bayan Kara Ula region. The stones are little disc-shaped discs with a hole in the center. The spiral grooves engraved on their surfaces are what actually distinguishes them. The researchers also discovered unusual, elongated skulls within a neighboring cave, pointing at a fascinating link to an old civilization. A shocking revelation was revealed when experts inspected the spiral grooves under a microscope. The grooves were filled with microscopic hieroglyphs. The stones allegedly tell the account of a spacecraft crash landing from the sky, as well as the Drapa people who were abandoned on Earth. Could this be evidence of ancient communication with extraterrestrial beings? Some also think that the Drapa stones are nothing more than a deception. They think that the grooves are simply natural erosion and the hieroglyphs are just scratches. Despite continuous arguments, access to the Drapa stones has been restricted, and their legitimacy is unknown. So, are the Drapa stones genuine artifacts from ancient extraterrestrial encounters, or just a clever story? The truth may still be concealed in China's isolated highlands, waiting to be revealed. Number 7. The Sakara Bird. The Sakara Bird, discovered in the year 1898 at Sakara, Egypt, by the famous Egyptologist Sir Flinders Petrie, is a wooden figure that has a striking resemblance to a bird with expanded wings. It is roughly 7.5 inches long and dates back to the pre-dynastic period of ancient Egypt, around 2200 BC. The Sakara bird's unique aerodynamic traits are what makes it so remarkable. The wings are skillfully carved with a modest curvature, suggesting that they were maybe designed with the thought of flight in mind. According to some researchers, the Sakara bird could be an antique model of a bird-shaped toy or a ceremonial object. Others believe it may have had a more fundamental significance, an early attempt by the ancient Egyptians to grasp and mimic flight principles. The argument over the Sakara bird's function does not stop there. In 1969, a German engineer named Simon R. Anton discovered that when the bird was launched from a high altitude, it flew in a stable and gliding manner, much like a modern airplane. This discovery revived the mystery. According to some researchers, the Sakara bird was a symbolic representation of bird-like flying that held great cultural or religious significance to the ancient Egyptians. It is also said that the aerodynamic properties of the Sakara bird might just be entirely coincidental. The truth behind the Sakara bird seems to be lost in time. Number 6. The Baghdad Battery. This strange item, discovered in the ruins of ancient Mesopotamia, has confused historians and archaeologists for decades, hinting at technological breakthroughs that were ahead of their time. The Baghdad Battery, also known as the Parthian Battery, is a grouping of tiny clay jars from the 2nd century BC. This discovery, made in the Qujut Rabu district near Baghdad, Iraq, has prompted several theories concerning its original purpose. Inside each jar is a copper cylinder sealed with an asphalt stopper and an iron rod. When the components are coupled with an acidic material, the device shows the ability to generate an electrical charge. Scholars have presented several explanations about how the Baghdad batteries work. One popular theory says that it was an early kind of galvanic cell used for electroplating gold onto various things. This would suggest that ancient civilizations were experimenting with electricity long before the modern era's discovery. Others believe the jars had therapeutic or religious reasons because the electrical charge they produced was so little. While we cannot say for certain what the ancient Mesopotamians used the Baghdad Battery for, its existence does spark a debate about our knowledge of ancient civilizations. Now it's time for today's subscriber pick. Here's an image of a strange-looking discovery that has puzzled experts. This metallic-looking item unearthed at a digging site seems to be a mechanical part of some big machine. With its various spikes in a circular pattern, perhaps it was a tool used for digging or construction, or perhaps it was an instrument of torture used by a brutal emperor. The question remains, how could an ancient civilization come up with such an intricate piece of engineering? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Number 5. The Main Penny. Columbus might not be the one who discovered America. We know this by the discovery of the main Viking penny, which defies the conventional assumptions about early European travel in the Americas. This penny opened a fresh chapter in the Viking legend. Before we dive into why this strange penny caught so much attention, let's learn a little about its background. The main Viking penny is a tiny silver coin created between the year 1065 and 1093 with a possible link to the Vikings. A cross with 2 horizontal lines appears on one side of the main Viking penny. On the other side, there is an image of an animal-like creature with a bent throat and hair like a horse's. The penny is thought to have originated in the 11th century, when Vikings were noted for their maritime journeys to faraway regions. Its discovery on American land suggests that Norse explorers may have arrived in North America centuries before Columbus. What's amazing is that this magnificent coin was discovered in the most unlikely area. It was discovered near the northeastern coast of the United States, especially in Maine, rather than in the extreme reaches of Scandinavia. This discovery ignited a mystery about the Vikings' presence in North America. Is it evidence of a long-lost town, or a testament to daring Viking explorers traveling far beyond the known world? The existence of the main Viking penny changed the North American Viking exploration history completely. Number 4. The Roman Dodecahedron. The Roman Dodecahedron is a tiny, hollow, multifaceted metal, or perhaps a bronze item. Because each face is pentagonal, it is called a dodecahedron, which means 12 faces. These interesting Roman Empire artifacts are thought to have been made between the 2nd and 4th centuries AD. Here's the catch. The specific purpose of these things is unknown. Despite the fact that there are countless specimens located throughout the Roman Empire, there are no conclusive answers as to their function. According to some beliefs, the Roman dodecahedra acted as measuring devices for surveying or astronomy, letting ancient engineers and architects determine distances or angles. Some believe that these multifaceted items were employed as measuring devices, allowing ancient collectors and academics to analyze coins with more precision. The dodecahedron, with each face representing a distinct measurement or unit, could have aided in determining a coin's diameter, thickness, weight, and even value. The various sizes of Roman dodecahedra imply the possibility of several models fitted to distinct currencies. Others believe they were used as ornaments or candle holders. The lack of inscriptions or actual evidence leaves us wondering what these ancient relics were actually used for. Number 3. The Ulfberht sword. The Vikings are famous for being legendary warriors, and their swords are equally fascinating. The Ulfberht swords were a type of medieval sword made during the Viking Age, during the 9th and 11th centuries. They were praised for their outstanding craftsmanship and amazing quality. They far surpassed other swords of their period and were made in the Kingdom of Francia. The inscription on the blades of these 200-year-old swords distinguishes them. Ulfberht, a name thought to belong to a competent swordsmith, or maybe a brand of unrivaled perfection. The amazing artistry and superior steelmaking skills of the Ulfberht swords were centuries ahead of their time. They were manufactured of high-quality crucible steel, a material that was uncommon in Europe prior to the Industrial Revolution. Historians assume that the secret to the excellent quality of Ulfberht swords came from the Middle East or Asia, where Arab smiths forged the famous Damascus steel. Steel was created by melting minerals, iron, and carbon together in a crucible. This high-quality steel was created using components from as far away as India. However, because there was no global commercial network linked with the period, it is difficult to assume that the steel was delivered by traders from Arab empires or India through the rivers of Eastern Europe. The worldwide distribution and technological progress of the Ulfberht swords raise many questions regarding the complex trading network during the Viking Age. Number 2. 150,000-year-old pipes. An amazing discovery of 150,000-year-old pipes occurred in China's Qinghai province near Mount Baigong. These out-of-place artifacts have raised questions about ancient civilizations' technological prowess. 3 chambers within a strange pyramid in China's Qinghai province had an amazing network of iron pipes going to a nearby saltwater lake. Additional pipes have been uncovered under the lakebed and on the coast, exciting researchers with their mysterious origin. Surprisingly, dating by the Beijing Institute of Geology reveals that these iron pipes were melted around 150,000 years ago, offering the incredible potential of advanced human civilization in antiquity. The dating process revealed an age considerably beyond the region's known human history. According to conventional evidence, human presence in the area began only about 30,000 years ago. While others have blamed the pipes on natural processes, respectable experts such as Yang Ji of the Chinese Academy of Social Sciences have proposed alternate explanations. Ji hypothesized that the pyramid was built by intelligent creatures, indicating potentially ancient alien involvement. Other ideas attribute these confusing buildings to lost prehistoric human techniques. To add to the mystery, several of the pipes were discovered to be highly radioactive, confusing scientists. While the presence of iron in cracks could be explained by iron-rich lava erupting from the earth, the strange radioactivity of the pipes remains a mystery. What purpose do you think these pipes served? Number 1. Costa Rica's stone spheres. The extraordinary discovery of Costa Rica's stone spheres, also known as the discs spheres, occurred in the 1930s. Over 300 stone petrospheres were discovered on the small island of Isla del Cao and the Dicus Delta. They have been linked to the now extinct Discus community. The Dicus culture flourished throughout the Chiric period between AD 800 and 1500, when vast towns grew up around the Taraba River. During this time, Decus artisans displayed their skills by shaping the curious stone spheres in important parts of their settlements. The Costa Ricas stone spheres are over 1,000 years old and date back to pre-Columbian times. The diameters of these stone marvels range from a few centimeters to more than 2 meters. Some of the largest spheres can weigh up to 16 tons. The spheres, which are largely constructed of gabbro, a coarse-grained volcanic rock comparable to basalt, are fashioned with incredible precision, leaving researchers in amazement at past civilizations' engineering skills. Despite much research, the Costa Rica stone sphere's exact purpose remains unknown. According to theories, they could have been utilized as astronomy equipment, religious symbols, boundary marks, or even representations of power and control. Interestingly, with the arrival of the Spanish in the 16th century AD, no mention of these large stone spheres was made in their accounts. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.